Hey, Universe Friends. I'm dear Nadine, founder and co-creator of Universe Friends Collections, an all-natural bespoke collection of body butters, aura sprays and soaps made to uplift, soothe and nurture your greatness, using essential oils, herbs and love to nourish your body, mind and spirit. Like I said, bespoke because you deserve the best, and you're listening to the ReEducation podcast.
You are now listening to the ReEducation podcast. Hi guys, back with another one. Yes, this is episode 2 of season 2 of the ReEducation podcast. I'm just so excited, guys.
Yay!
Thank you. You guys had more enthusiasm and more excitement than my own bloody siblings yesterday. Yeah, I was sitting there all excited, like yay. They're like, yay.
No, that's right. We did a little better than that, man. Come on.
Some more.
Come on, man.
Exactly. It's season 2. You know, this ain't the pilot or the teaser, the trailer. This is season 2. Means that we've done this thing and we're into the zone. Yeah?
Yeah, man.
So I say all of that to say I've got 2 of my nearest and dearest sisters in the house. Well, on the screen, because we're recording via Zoom. It's still semi-lockdown out here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Who wants to go first?
Hey, everybody. I'm Nadine. How are you? Welcome to the ReEducation podcast. Yeah. Season 2 and that. Season 2 and that.
Yes.
Woo. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name's Lauren. And again, welcome to the best that's out there.
Yeah.
That's my sister right there doing the ReEducation podcast. I'm so happy to be a part of it, sis. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to support you all day, every day.
Oh, thank you, guys. You're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry.
At the end, man, not now, at the end.
Thank you so much for being here. Even though it's season 2, like in the build up to season 1, like you both helped me along that journey. So I did about 4 different interviews with some of my friends, and Nadine and Lauren was one of the last interviews that we did. We were just having a Zoom chat actually.
Yeah.
And then it kind of blossomed and like grew into this whole conversation about race and our children, their futures. And, you know, it gave me an idea for one of my future topics that we touching on when we can actually sit around a table in person without fear of being told you're over 6 people, you get a fine, and you get a fine. Like, we're gonna do that. Like, it's definitely coming. It's 100% it's coming. But today I wanted us to talk about growing up Black and British. So the first episode of season 2, there'll be information somewhere on the screen down below in the description box for you to be able to click to episode 1 of season 2, which features 4 of my siblings. On that podcast episode, we do talk about growing up Black British, also how we were able to embrace our heritage, because we are Caribbean and African. My brothers, their mother is from Barbados, and my mum is from Jamaica. They're born here, but that's where their parents hail from, whereas our dad is Nigerian. And we got into a real nice kind of discussion around how much we actually were exposed to that side, well, both sides of the culture that we have. And you know, and also touch on a bit of Black history, what we learn. And I'll share with you later on in the conversation what my sister said that kind of shocked all of us. Like, it had us floored. Like, what?
Wow.
But because everybody that listened to the previous episode, or if you go back and listen, you'll hear me touch on some of my experience, just some, just a little, small. You'll hear that I talk about what it was like, mainly in primary school. But I want to invite you, Nadine and Lauren, to kind of share what it was like for you growing up Black British.
You know what? Growing up Black British, it was different. It's very different to what my children are experiencing now as being children growing up in Britain. But for me, it was, the community was closer together. It was very tight knit. You knew your immediate family, your extended family, and you knew which auntie was which, and do you know what I mean? Like the close family friend, like the unit was tighter. I find more so when I was growing up. You know, we used to do coach trips. So you'd see your friends, do you know what I mean? You would see your friends who live like north, south, west. Black, you used to go to Blackpool, Bournemouth, all of them ones.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
can I just ask where your parents originate from? I obviously know, but for the people listening.
So both my parents are from Dominica in the Caribbean. Let's be clear, it's not Dominican Republic, it's Dominica. Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, no ad-lib.
There are two separate islands.
Yeah. Are nowhere near each other.
Two very separate islands.
Yes.
But sorry, I cut you there. I just wanted the listeners to know where your parents are from. Please continue.
Well, my parents are Jamaican. My mum was born in Jamaica and came over when she was 3. And my dad was my dad's side of the family is from Jamaica, but my dad was born here. So growing up years ago, I agree with Nadine. Like, that was tight family. You knew every weekend it was family dinners, everyone round, weekends at grandma's house, seeing your cousins, the wider family. Whereas now, with my 2 children, for them it is a lot different. Like that sense of community, I suppose, isn't there as much. That closeness. Like, don't get me wrong, I've got my sisters, I love them to death, and especially in you 2, I couldn't find better friends, better sisters. But at the same time, that immediate family, that blood family, is just so much dispersed. Everyone's moved around, doing naturally you move on, you do what you're doing. But I feel that closeness, that family isn't, that orientation, so to speak, isn't there as much anymore. Growing up British back in the day, Black and British, it was a lot more, how can I put it? I can't even think of the word. It was family oriented. Pardon?
Cohesive, so everybody was kind of involved.
Yeah, it was a lot more cohesive. Everyone was more together. Even, I suppose, conversation. But then at the same time, when we grew up, we didn't have all these electronics, all this social media, all these things that took us away from interacting with each other. Like, people had to call my house phone to get through to me. I didn't have a mobile. What's that? Like, I would hope that I could go to my friend's house after school. My mum wouldn't beat me on my way back when I get home, because I didn't come straight home from school.
Yeah.
Now I've got my kid like, oh, mum, can I go to my friend's house and all this lot? Like, no, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's my take on it at the moment, is a sense of, when I grew up, family was a lot different. Family was always there. And Like I said, we was always at grandma's house or auntie's house, and you had that level of respect. Like, you would walk down the road, even if you're going to the shop for your mum, and say hello and have that level of politeness to people around you.
That respect and manners.
Because it was one of them ones like back in the day, it was, if so and so sees you, they're gonna tell your mum. It always come back to your mum. Whereas now people see children and they're like, oh no, I can't see nothing, and we can't.
But they're gonna tell the next person, guess who I just saw on the bus?
All of that. You want to chat, go carry story, but you're not bringing it back to where it needs to go. Yeah.
So when I spoke yesterday to my siblings, to my brothers and my sister, I didn't really talk about that whole sense of community, because me and my sister are 11 years apart, and we have both the same mum and same dad, whereas my brothers, we have the same dad. So we obviously grew up in different households. But for me, like, it was very much everybody knew everybody. Like, I couldn't go nowhere, not even on the estate, in the borough, without somebody knowing who I am. And I have to say hello and have small talk, or at least show some kind of hi, hello, yeah, you're right, yeah, I'm good. All right, bye. Like, I remember my friend, my good friend Marisha, she'd always be like, you know everybody, don't you? Bloody hell, can't go with you. And I'm just like, I if I don't say hello, it's gonna be a problem, innit? So I have to. And there's bare people that will say hello to me and be like, yeah, you're so and so's child, innit? You're from this family, innit? I'm like, yeah. I still get it now. I'm 32. You. Is that Simone? Is that Simone? I'm like, yeah, that's me. Hi. Yeah, sorry, I use the excuse I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see. Or I need to go to Specsavers and get a new lens, because I literally don't know who these people are. But the fact that they say my name and my mum's surname, I know that they know my family, and they're obviously from the area that we're from. Like, everybody knew everybody. And there was youth clubs, there was activity centers, like everybody knew the youth workers, everybody knew the activity center workers. Like, everybody just knew who was who on the estate. And whoever you went to a facility and they worked with you, they knew your parents too, or your granny, your granddad, your aunt, your uncle. Like, they pretty much just knew everybody. Whereas when I go to, like, as everybody knows, I've said it multiple times, I'm half Jamaican, half Nigerian. Both my parents were born in the UK, as was I. But going to each side of the family's house, I felt like I was stepping into two different worlds.
Yeah.
Similar in some sense, but different. Like, the way we talk is different. The way we communicate is different. The way we entertain is different. And when I say entertain, it's more like who leads the entertainment, who gets involved, like what is funny, what is entertaining, what is just what we're drawn to and stuff. Like, both my dad and my mum's side, my grandmas were the matriarch. Like, they were the head of, they were the one that ran stuff. They were the one whose opinion mattered, you know, that's who you made sure to please. And I stayed with both my grands, like when I went to each side of the family. So when I started to experience Nigeria, it was just like, wow, this is different. This is where I come from. Like, I got fully stuck in, like fully. When I go to both places, I get fully stuck in, fully submerged in the culture. Like, I felt lucky and I felt unlucky at the same time, because I felt that there were two sides of me that I had to be like, am I more this? Am I more that? Can I like hair more? Do I have to? Like, am I gonna get cussed? And Nigerians, like, we can be a harsh people, yeah? We can be a harsh people. And just even the way they say Jamaican, like, they were mocking the thing. Like, how can I? He's Jamaican. That's not how you say it. And then making my cousin say our surname. Like, we're born in the UK. Our phonetic build up means that you, like, we're supposed to say Uja.
Yeah.
That's how people say our names, like in the doctors, in schools, that's how they pronounce our name. So we get used to just pronouncing our name like that. Then you go to Nigeria and they say, what's your name? And you say Uja, everybody starts laughing at you, pointing and when they did that to my cousin, the way how I tiptoed out of that compound, because I said, you will not, you will not be making fun of me today. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. But
Madness.
yeah, like that's, I find it very, like, listening to you both of your parents are from the same, like the heritage is the same, whereas mine, the heritage was different. So there are similarities, there are differences, and they like to make it known that we're not one of the same. We are very different, even though there's a lot.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, even though obviously my parents are both from Dominica, so my dad was born there. I don't know how old he was when he came to England. My mum grew up in Dominica and she came to the UK when she was 7. Yeah. But growing up, like, obviously my dad got married and so my stepmom was Jamaican. So then I had that part of my family as well. So the mix up was different. Yeah. Similar because obviously Caribbean households, yeah, but different because when I used to go to my other family's house, like my stepmom's family's house, yeah, I was the small island girl.
Yeah, I can't lie.
Because you see what I'm saying? Because my cousins were from Jamaica.
Yeah.
So, but I just got used to it. I just embraced it. I was like, whatever, innit? I'm not bothered. Yeah, it is what it is. But I think growing up Black and British, for me anyway, I found that I never really called myself Black and British. I always referred to myself as Caribbean. And then when I got older and I started to learn about Black history, I then referred to myself as British Caribbean African. As I went to the Docklands Museum and I looked at some of the history there that's there for all to see, where you can see where the slaves were taken from in Africa and what islands they were taken to. And you do a little bit of digging and research and you learn where you're from, or at least you get an idea, a map of where your heritage actually lies. Do you know what I mean? And so I've always, as I got older, especially when like I was signing forms and applications and you'd have Black Caribbean, Black British, Black this, Black that, I'd always go right down to other, yeah, British, Caribbean, African.
But I felt restricted because I felt that even saying Black other, it was like, no, I need to be acknowledged here that I'm African and Caribbean. And then if I tick the 2 boxes, then it's like, oh, you've just skewed our market. You've just skewed our monitoring info that we can't take 2 answers on one.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I did it on purpose. Yeah. I don't like to be overly defined and categorized at the best of times. Yeah. So I remember one time I was filling in a form and, you have to go to the housing office or whatever. And the woman was like, oh, can you fill in the ethnicity part? And I was like, yeah. So I'm looking, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking, and I got right down to the bottom where it says other, and I put British, Caribbean, African. And she was like, yeah, but you're Black. And I was just like, and your point is? And she was like, but you can't be all of those things. And I said, yes, really? I can. Yeah, she did. I had to school her. I said, I am Black. We've already... Exactly. I said, we've already established this, but I've gone down to other because I was born here and I'm British. Yeah. And my heritage from my parents is Caribbean. And beyond that, I'm an African. Deal with it. I'm not going to conform to what you want to tell me I am. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that.
I'm going to tell you who I am, and this is who I am. I'm British because I was born here. I'm Caribbean because my I'm West African. Deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not my problem.
I felt like just ticking one meant that I was excluding a whole part of me.
I can respect that.
And like I was being a sellout. There was a point where I always ticked Caribbean because I lived with my mum. She's a Caribbean side. However, I was fully submerged in my Nigerian culture, heritage. And then after a while, like after being in school and, you know, you hear the playground taunts and well, technically we're all from Africa, aren't we? So, and then you got the Jamaicans, because it was never, they say it's Africa versus the Caribbean, but it was always Nigeria versus Jamaica.
Jamaica.
And I want just one person to tell me that ain't so. They're lying. They're lying.
Yeah,
because they are bare Jamaican imposters in school days. Yeah, like yeah, we're from Jamaica. Then I'm in the shop and I hear your mom talking. I'm like, that ain't. That's a different accent, babes. That's not from Jamaica. Yeah. So then I started ticking Black African because, you know, technically we're all from the motherland, whether people want to believe that or not. We all come from Africa, Black people. So I just then started to tick Africa, but then also I still felt like I'm letting down the whole side of me. Like literally just, you might as well cut me in half and put half on the African tick and half on the Caribbean tick. And it's just, even to this day, I just don't tick it because I think, like you said, it's like somebody's defining you. It's fitting into a box that really and truly, that stuff is only used for like reporting and monitoring. So when they want to turn around and say, oh, well, we work with predominantly this group, or because we work with this group, we want to apply for funding for this. But really, you just got people to tick boxes on a random sheet during recruitment, when they were picked or not.
Yeah.
Sign up to your service, whether they stick it or not. Like, let's just keep it 100. Like, you can't force me to tick a box that doesn't fully acknowledge where I'm from and what my build-up is.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely. Granted, I just generally tick Black Caribbean. That's the box I go for. But
there's no judgment.
I can completely respect like your argument.
There's no judgment.
I'm just saying, innit?
That's good. That's good.
Like,
no, but I hear you though, because look, there was up until probably maybe I was about 23, 24. Yeah, I used to tick Black British or Black British Caribbean. Yeah. But the more I started to identify who I was, the more I was like, why am I letting these people tell me who I am? Yeah. First of all, they can't even tell me where I originally came from as a people. Yeah. So why am I allowing that? Yeah, where they stole me from. Yeah. So why am I allowing them to define me in that way? And that's kind of probably by the time I was around 25, that's when I was just like, nah, I'm tired of this. So I just started to rebel on every form. I'd go straight to other and I'd write those 3 statements. Yeah. I'd just write those, British, Caribbean, African. And that was it. I'm not interested in, I'm not even interested in writing nothing else, because at the end of the day, that's what it is, isn't it?
I'm sorry, I still can't believe the woman told you, but you're Black.
Yeah, she did. Like, I didn't know. But this is what I'm saying. When growing up Black and British, when I was growing up, like I said, more community, and there was definitely 100 more unity. Yeah, like the play scheme that I used to go to in the 6 weeks holidays. Yeah, everybody knew everybody. Everybody's grandparents knew each other. Church people knew each other. Everybody knew everybody. And that is one of the other than like learning to cook at home and with my grandparents, that was the place where I learned to cook. That was the place where I learned to make bread, fry plantain, peel green banana, learn what yam dashing, the difference between a banana and a plantain, why you have to cook a plantain, the difference between a green banana, ripe banana. Like, there was just things that you learn that now you know, I feel like there's part of our community where we lack that. And like you say, back then we didn't have all the technology, so we had to use our imagination as kids. Yeah. And I think parents pushed their children more in that sense, because it was like there were just things that you couldn't get away with back then. Like now you can't get away with it because everyone's got camera phones, right? Yeah. But back then, the camera phone, yeah, was your auntie or your uncle who you didn't even know saw you doing madness on the road. Yeah. And by the time you got home and you fixed up your story in your head, that auntie or uncle done been to the phone box, dropped in their 20 to 50p and called your mum and been like, blah, 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 blah.
If they didn't have the cellular device, like.
That's what I'm saying. And then on top of that, yeah, if they didn't leave a message on the answer machine, yeah, they'd then call like the closest auntie or uncle to you, so that if they didn't get hold of your mum, yeah, they had a backup. Yeah. Nowadays, like you said, Lauren, nowadays people will walk past people's kids and not pay attention. And I'm like, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be afraid of someone in our community pulling us up about our child in a respectful way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there's certain children that I know, and they know that when they see me on the road, if they're acting the fool, and some of these children are now like young adults, but if they see me and they're acting the fool, they fix up. Because they know I'm calling your parents.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll be brazen enough to call you out in front of your friends if you're acting that much of a fool. Yeah. But like I said, in a respectful way. Because I remember having a conversation. My mum, where my mum lives, there was this little boy who lived in the block, and he used to spit in my mum's garden. Yeah. And one day I just had enough. So I told him about himself, and I just like, you spit in the garden again and see what happens. Yeah. So he went to tell his mum what I said. Yeah. So she came downstairs. Oh, why are you talking to my son like that? No. I said, listen, I told him once, I told him twice, and then I told him 3 times. And then I told him if he does it again, see what happens. And what did he do? He ran and he told you that I threatened him, but he didn't tell you what he was doing. He was spitting in the garden. There's no reason for him to do that. Yeah. She wanted to come in the gate, yeah, to fight me. Yeah. This is a black woman, right? She wanted to come in my mum's gate and fight me. So I said, well, open the gate then. Yeah. I said, because at the end of the day, I'm looking out for your child. Yeah. I'm the kind of person, if someone's troubling your child on the street, regardless of the fact that he spat in my mum's garden, and that's the height of disrespect and nastiness, yeah, if someone's troubling your son on the road, I'm not just going to walk past him because of his behavior. What you need to do, yeah, is stop beating your son, yeah, and start disciplining him, because beating him is not helping, yeah. Take away the computer, give him a book, yeah, teach him something. Yeah, and then he won't think it's okay to spit in his neighbour's garden. The same neighbour who, when you don't have no food, no disrespect to you, yeah, because you have your lifestyle, no one ain't judging you, but when your son is eating in my mum's house, don't tell me nothing, innit? Because that's called community. That's called community. Yeah. When your child comes in my mum's house and says he's hungry, my mum feeds him. She don't question whether you're feeding him or not. Yeah, she just feeds him like she's feeding the rest of her children or her grandchildren or the children that she looks after. Yeah. So when you're behaving the way you're behaving, remember, yeah, that at the end of the day, where we live, everybody here in this block where we live, we're a community. We look out for each other's children, and we don't go around disrespecting other people's property. When strangers come into our block, we know they're strangers, because we know who goes to whose house. Yeah? We know who goes to whose house. So then when we see someone who we don't recognize, everybody knows. Yeah? What? The neighbors will call each other. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, everybody knows. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody knows. And I said to her that, and I remember saying to her, because then her brother's girlfriend then came downstairs and she started to mouth off. By this time now, I've opened the gate, because I'm like, well, if we're having it, let's have it in it. And her brother's girlfriend was white. yeah, to her son's mixed race. So she was going on with herself. And I said to her, listen, you be quiet. Yeah. Because when your son gets older, yeah, if he gets himself in any sort of trouble, yeah, they're not going to assume that his mother's white. Yeah. They're just going to assume that he's black. Yeah. So before you want to pipe up, yeah, pipe down. Yeah. Just pipe down. Yeah. I said to her, because if you don't, what's going to happen is at the end of the day, when your son does get into trouble, yeah, and you turn up at the police station, yeah, they're still going to look at you differently. Because as far as they were concerned, they were targeting a black boy. Yeah, so remember who you're talking to, because when your kids are here and they're playing outside my mum's house or they're playing in my mum's front garden, your kids are safe because we look out for them. So don't come down here cussing and screaming and shouting and talking about fight, yeah? Because you guys have known me long enough to know I don't do talk. That's why I opened the gate, you see? That's why I opened the gate.
And nobody crossed it now.
Nobody, that's the thing. Nobody crossed the threshold, which was funny.
Now
they didn't want the smoke.
No, man, they didn't want that fire.
They knew what time it was.
Out there.
But that's the difference. Like, I remember being out with my cousins, yeah, and we was walking from like, right, so you know where our uni is? Yeah, so we was walking down Water Lane, heading towards Stratford. And I saw my mum's friend, yeah, her Auntie Lucy, yeah? Right, Auntie Lucy, right, Nadine, yeah. Get back home. Now, bear in mind, obviously, my cousins, a lot of my cousins growing up, my age, were boys, yeah? So I'm with my girlfriends from school and then all these boys, yeah? I get home, yeah? My mum's like, what was you doing? Walking with all these boys on the road on your own? No. Auntie Lucy just rang me to tell me that she see you hanging out on it. I said, Mum, we weren't hanging out on the street. Yeah. We were on the way to the park. Yeah.
Auntie Lucy took it way left.
Yeah. And then all I said was two of my cousins' names. Yeah, Mum was like, oh, all right. Me will tell Lucy that she get it wrong. I said, yeah, tell her, innit? Because at the same time that I was vexed. Yeah, exactly.
Auntie Lucy will go flapping them gums again.
If Auntie Lucy was a ultimate curtain twitcher, yeah? Ultimate curtain twitcher, yeah? But when I think about it now, you know, hindsight, years of experience and becoming a parent myself, I hope that all you aunties out there that know my kids will spy on them and pull them up where and when necessary and pick up the phone and tell me if my child is acting the fool.
Yeah, I agree with you, Where it's true. Because you had aunties and uncles that you didn't even know were aunties and uncles, let alone friends or family, that were still reporting in on you. And then it's only when you walk past or through somewhere with your with your mum or whatever, and it's like they stop and talk to each other, and they're like, bro, when did you two know each other? Because my mum used to do it all the time. I used to go out with my mum all the time. And the thing is, my mum always worked in our local community. So she worked in the local doctor's surgery. She was a carer. So she's always worked around people. And it was a case of everywhere we went, she always was. I hated going out with her on a Saturday to go shopping. It was pointless.
One of them
because you didn't shop, because every 2 seconds, you're stopping. But with us, we can just be polite. Hi, how are you? You're right. No, they're stopping, having big old conversations. And it's like, but hold on, didn't you two check each other like 2 days ago? Like, can we not do this later? Shopping? Like,
well, your arms are breaking.
Mum wants to be out in the shops and in the market from 8:30, 9 o'clock, you know?
With the
and
laundry,
your arms are breaking with the bag.
Oh!
Yeah,
and the trolley's already full.
Oh, yes,
I hated that. My gran. So where I live in South London, in Southwest. See, I don't even know how to describe this for you guys, but let's say you're going to Stratford. Your gran, your mama, your aunt, and says, "Come, we could go to McDonald's." You as a little child are like, yeah, okay, all right, cool. Now it takes one bus to get from my old estate to McDonald's. Yeah, why are we getting off the bus at Latchmere? I just want to get two things in our market. Grandma, you didn't say that.
Say that.
I'm a child. You think I can say this to her? I'm saying this in my head. I'm like, okay, this is gonna get into a long thing. But then I thought, okay, no, right at the bottom there's a man that sells donuts and little pastries, so she'll probably buy me something along like down there. But that means we gotta go through the market. It's like, all right, walking through. She stopped at the first one. You're right, my darling. How you doing? Got this, that, and the other. Yeah. She's there, hickey, and I was like, but you've already got this stuff in the house. Like, what are we doing here? Half an hour later, we're now proceeding right back up the line of the market to go back to the bus stop where we got off the bus, get on the same bus to go to bloody Clapham Junction. All right, cool. We made it on the bus the second time now. We get off at Clapham Junction, and as soon as you take like 2 steps from the bus stop, there's always this man that used to have his stall and he used to sell fruits and vegetables. I'm thinking, all right, we're going. She stopped. Hello, Treacle, how you doing, my love? Got these lovely oranges and punneted grapes for you. You want to come and have a taste? So now we've stopped another 10 minutes. All the while I'm like, we've got to pass at least 10 more shops to get to McDonald's. So I'm doing the math in my head, like thinking, how much steps is that? How much more people could we possibly intersect on the way? Like, what's going to happen? No, we don't even make it to the corner where JD Sports used to be, which is now Metro Bank. She's already seen 2 people. And we've stopped and had a 15-minute conversation for both. Bear in mind, we've still got the bags that we got from the market. By the time we get to McDonald's, like, let's say that this was 11:30 that we left. It's a good 2 o'clock. I'm like, I should have just asked her to bring it back when she came, because I know she's going to go to McDonald's regardless and get a hot chocolate and her fillet of fish, because that's what she used to buy. So I should have just been like, you know what, Grandma, I'll stay at home. You can bring me some McDonald's back, but nobody wants stale cold McDonald's, yeah? Exactly. And nobody wants microwave heated up McDonald's either. Nope. So you have to eat it fresh. So I had to bite the bullet and take that. Like, I hated that. And that's when I say, like, no matter where I go in the area that I lived in, or just like out of the area, within the borough, there's too much people that know me, my family.
Hi guys, it's Keanu again. You're listening to the ReEducation podcast.
Hey universe friends, I'm dear Nadine, founder and co-creator of New Purpose Season Coaching, helping you to a true self-discovery through multi-dimensional coaching, using the best of coaching psychology and positive psychology and my spiritual gifts to bring you love and light into your life. And you, my beautiful universe friends, you are listening to the ReEducation podcast.